So excited for them. We worked at this and established a goal. Finally had some depth in the program. We've always had good athletes, but they kind of saw the writing on the wall about, halfway through the indoor season that, hey, we got some special things going on here. And I just couldn't be more proud of them. Their effort, the way that they work towards things, their teamwork. They're out there running back and forth on the track, just hollering at their friends. Everybody's got a role to fill. And you know what? They did it. And we continue to have success, and we've got the sectionals coming up, so we look forward to that.
And to win an SAC title like this in a fashion that you guys did, what did it really take from this team? You've seen the progress throughout the year. What did it really take to snap that streak for them, but also to win it for you guys?
Yeah, that's a great Northrop team. They always have depth. And when we got to the track, I told them the only thing that you can do is affect your performance. You can only affect what you touch. So, be relentless in your pursuit for excellence, and guess what? I guarantee you like what you have at the end of this. That's absolutely what they did. Just total team performances. There were so many people that rose up. We seeded maybe 1 and 4 in this event and go 1-2, 1 and 7, and 1-4. And just to watch them, be relentless in that pursuit was fantastic. And I think, for Northrop, they still had their depth, but, finally we have some depth, and we're able to, kind of counteract some things with them. So it was awesome. It was a great night.
Absolutely. Well, to just kind of touch on that, you have some freshmen winning events, you've got some seniors winning events all throughout the age groups here. What does it really say about the team that you have? I know you talked a little bit about the depth, but just a team as a whole to, sometimes seniors might not be, she's a freshman. Kind of just tell me about the culture that you guys have here and that.
Yeah, so, mutually supportive. We've talked about those roles and the expectations of seniors, and you're the leaders. We've also talked about the fact that track is a type of sport that, it's black and white. So it's you and the time. And if you're in the top 2, 3, or 4, then you're going to get the run. And you know what? They've accepted that role. Everybody's went out there. They've gotten better. And like our seniors are just fantastic with leading the team. They set the tone.
For sure. Well, in track, like you mentioned, it takes so many people to win a collective thing.
Yeah.
How have these kids kind of taken that on to, be able to finish great individually, but also understand that it's for a bigger purpose?
Yeah, so, what me and the other coaches do is just try to bring the motivation. And all year long, they've had the distance and direction, and when they started realizing their potential, watch out, because they caught fire and just started to be really good and outperform. Our 4x4 team broke their own record 2 times in less than a week. We scored 163 points. The 4x1 broke a record. So that evening was just a conundrum of multiple things that happened. Breaking records, people, doing PRs across the track. And it needed to be that to be to beat Northrop, because, they've done this for, 12, 13, 14 years. They're a phenomenal team, but that was our night.
Well, you just mentioned it right there. First one since 1977.
Yeah.
What is it for you to be able to coach these girls through such a crazy milestone like that? What was that like for you?
Well, it's one for the record books for them. Like, you're going to be remembered. We haven't won since '77, and you're the second ever conference, champion. So for them, I hope they set the groundwork and understand that, guess what, we can continue to build on this. You're ever going to lose some quality seniors, but guess what, we've got a lot of freshmen, and guess what, Friday night I host the CYO middle school meet here, and I just checked out some of their scores. I got some quality kids coming in. So you know what, it doesn't stop there. That's the beautiful thing about track. It's kind of like life. When you're faced with a bit of adversity, what do? Move forward. Drive forward, and that's the thing that I love about this sport is, we can continue to get better. Hard work pays off.
Absolutely. Well, my last question, to win an SAC title, and then also now we're heading into postseason, right? How does this really, catapult you guys forward to keep going with this?
Yeah, so obviously the IHSA sectional tournament starts next week. We look forward to, competing in that. And obviously, it's very similar format, top 2 athletes, third best as the alternate. I think we're in a good spot, that we could probably make a deep run at the sectionals, but more importantly, to get people onto the regional championships, because the thing about the state tournament is, guess what? If you don't perform, you get to go home. And I told them that. So the same type of performances they had on Thursday night, they need to have here. And if they do, I guarantee they like what they do.